Okay, so Plok. The year is 2015. It is a different time. Just lower that for a little bit. Maybe even a little more. Let's make sure that we're not in baby mode for babies. We are in normal. Very good. Where is it? Someone's stolen his flag, and he's looking around the map world in order to find it. Including a place that they don't go to, the bog. It was originally going to be a level, but it got cut out. Just one sec. My sound on my side is hideously loud. Yeah, there we go. But now I need to turn it back up for you guys. Not quite that much. Yeah, there we go. That's about perfect. Okay, so we were doing the intro, which is the year is 2015. Before Trump was even nominated. Punishment Game 23. Jake attempts Plok. Ultimately unsuccessful, and results in it getting put on the mod game list. Now, Plok is this adorable little Lego man-like thing. He has arms and legs, and he can shoot them away. Those fruit are normally health, but sometimes they are... Oh yeah, we're going to better start the timer, eh? Whoops. We're probably about like 20 seconds late on that timer, but I'll forgive myself that. These fruit are normally health, but sometimes they are warps. Either collect all the shell warps, shells are essentially coins from Mario, or like in this one, they are race to the finishes, where you have to get to the end of a sort of maze / avoid the obstacles little race. And if you complete them, often you'll skip large numbers of levels. The rules for this mod game attempt, or this playthrough, are we aren't allowed any continues, which are called Plok continues in-game. Warps are, however, allowed, as are using extra lives, so I don't have to take 0 deaths during the run. Your lives are indicated by the number of Plok heads in the top right-hand corner, and continues are indicated by the Plok text. That little stone head guy killed Jake. It was his first death on his own run. And I would laugh, except I died to the heads about 3 times before I worked out the timing on how you kill them, or the approaches to take to kill them. The stars, so collecting those rubies like that give you stars around you, act exactly like a Super Mario, well, a star in Super Mario Brothers. Makes you temporarily invulnerable and changes the music. Not quite as fancy music as you'll get with Super Mario Brothers stars, but quite nice nonetheless. As you collect the shells, you'll notice that the Plok head in the top middle of screen is slowly filling up with yellowness, with shells. And when you get to, I think it's approximately 100, you earn an extra life. Extra lives are allowed, so in the rules we said there's no continues. Warps and extra lives are allowed, as are out of bounding. There are a couple of the later levels where... No, let's not even... Nope. Let's just go back to where we can get full speed. There are a couple of the later levels... Come on. There we go, full speed. There are a couple of the later levels where we will be doing some out-of-boundsing to avoid needing to do basically most of the level. So this needs to go back and forth twice. And then it will go up to a warp at the top of that arrow that's pointing upwards. Okay. And unlike the previous helicopter warp, this one is actually kind of challenging. So you'll forgive me for concentrating. Well, fail one. Earn an extra life by getting 100-ish shells. No, I want to... Yeah, so we probably failed that already, just by virtue of not standing still enough here. So we will commit suicide and commit suicide. It's quicker and easier than actually going through the levels properly, although I might as well collect the extra shells. Up, down, full speed, avoid all the logs, and we get to have another go at this. And we'll take the even lazier route. It'll come back once, we ignore it, and on the second time it comes back, we jump on. Okay. Collect all of these. Do not eat the fruit. 1, 2, 3. One of the most demoralizing things you can do is eat the fruit that you know takes you to a warp by accident. Because you're like, oh, I want health. And then you accidentally eat the warp fruit. Yes! Damage is irrelevant. Okay, and that skips the rest of the sort of tutorial island and takes you back home. And we get home to find out that someone's not only stolen the flag now from our house, but literally all the other flags we had around the island. And there are some icky fleas, these things. This is basically, if you have skipped through part of Tutorial Island, which would also teach you about the fleas, this is replacement tutorial about fleas, namely that you have to kill all the fleas, and then that will release that white flag, which will teleport to the end of the map, to the flagpole, which you have to then get to end the level. Plok reminisces about Grandpappy Plok and says, if only I had Grandpappy Plok's old artifact, it would help me defeat all of the fleas. He goes to sleep, and we walk back to the old time world, where Grandpappy Plok is still alive. A humble man who makes a giant stone statue of himself. You do get the Bobbins Brothers. You get Bobbins Brothers Mark II, not Baby Bobbins Brothers. So he hops on his boat. We're going to skip that, and it just goes to Old World Island. Whew, everything is black and white on Old World Island. Plok Senior, Grandpappy Plok. He moves around and has the same controls as Baby Plok. The only difference is that he has a dashing moustache. Ooh. The Bomb King would be telling him that he's a good man. What's my history between me and Plok? Absolutely nothing. It's not a childhood game from me, other than seeing it on Punishment Game 23. And thinking, surely I can do better. As for my mod desire, well, sometimes, although the mods do an excellent job, sometimes they are a little vigorous with their sword swinging, and I seek immunity. The ability to make comments as I wish. One example would be recently in Spooktober, there was a... What was the game? I forget its name, but it was the Groundhog Day game where you're the little girl in the house and you have to save all your family. And I made a suggestion that was, I thought, pretty clearly a reference to Super Mario 64, that maybe you had to stop the old clock with the hands at 12 o'clock in order to collect nine red coins, and got my swing swung at and muted for a while. Absolutely no animus against whoever did it. I don't even know who did it now. I thought it was pretty obvious and clearly a reference to Super Mario 64, but perhaps the other person who was the mod then was a bit of a Philistine and doesn't know his Super Mario 64 or hasn't watched his Super Mario 64 race runs to know this. And well, yes, hopefully at the end of this I will be immune. And to be clear, I hadn't played the Groundhog Day game, so I had no idea if my suggestion was even a useful hint. It was, yeah, just meant to be like, yo, it's like Super Mario 64 maybe. What are you going to do with the mods in Australia? Yeah. Well, it's good. It's good for things like this marathon, because it means that there's always... Well, there should be more likely to be some mods available for things, even at times that are perhaps a bit awkward for the Euros and the Americans. So that's an example of using one of those fruit for health rather than as a warp. Okay. He finds an old boot, so that's where the left one went. This level is all about these things, which you hit and they go downwards. As well as learning how to use these chainsaws properly. If you hold down while you use the chainsaws, sometimes it cannot go as far as you want them to go, so you're best off pressing diagonally up and right. Make that go down, make that go down, hold up and right. Get the health. Kick, kick. Up and right. No, I didn't up and right soon enough. Up and right. Didn't apparently hold up and right well enough. Try one last time. There we go. Collect all the shells, and then we pull up the tree. Gadzooks! Oh, that's the other thing that old-timey Grandpappy Plok does. I'm too old for this caper. He talks in old person's talk. Do not move forwards yet. Whenever I start that level, I want to just move forwards, and you just wait, is the correct thing. Kick, kick. The next bridge crossing is largely the same. It's a disappearing floor bridge, as is standard for most sort of platformers, except this time you want to leave slightly more space between your punches. Punch, punch, punch. Climb, climb, climb. The logs trick. Come on, trigger. Now, kill the head. That gives us an invulnerability, which lets us get up to the second head without worrying. And end of level. And this time we find a vase, which we accidentally break. What sauce? How much junk have I buried? Last level, crouch hill. The hint being to crouch. Now, you're quicker off just going straight to the end, but because this is... Well, because the rules that we're running under are I'm allowed as many lives as I want, just no continues, I'm better off farming lives. And this also answers one of the questions that Jake has from when he did his run. He was asking, I wonder what happens... Well, he didn't... Yeah, I wonder what happens when you get more than 4 Ploks. And you can see in the top right-hand side now that what happens is you get a little 5x number Plok heads. Okay, so what we want to do is jump over this, wait for them to shoot again, and then proceed. If you don't get this chainsaw, then you have to take a water damage to get across the water over to this island. Ow. That's actually worryingly little health, all things considered. There we go, I feel a bit happier. There's 2 of these down the bottom here, and then there's some logs rolling. The other answer to those logs rolling is just to hide down underneath. But, I don't know, I'm okay enough at the timing that I can usually dodge them. I don't need my baby strat for babies. Okay, my arch foes, the Bobbins brothers. This is the first example of when it just uses text that is, to me, slightly off. Like, I would say arch nemesis, not arch foes. Looking for something, old-timer? Have you lost something? Perhaps an amulet? Shut up. Okay, now the trick for these guys is you want to juggle them. So you move all the way to the right, and then they fall down. And then you turn around and you go 1, 2, 3 shoots. And then they jump, and you go 1, 2, 3 shoots. And we missed one. 1, 2, 3 shoots. I've already dropped one of the juggles, so we might end up dying here. 1, 1, 2. Yep. Jake only lost 1 life to these guys, which I just... When I first started trying to learn to beat these bosses... 1, 2, 3, shoot. I find absolutely amazing. Now, a little less so, but when I was first learning how to beat them, it cost me so many lives. I'm getting down to low life on them. But I'm also on low life. Damn it! Well, I've officially lost more lives than Jake did against these guys. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. Might be in a decent rhythm. Nope. That guy totally should have jumped because I did hit him. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no one escaped. Yeah, there we go. We got them again. Victory! And then we return to Baby Plok. Oh, but first, we get trapped in the chest. Oh, look! He goes to get the object out of the chest, and oh no, I'm stuck! I'm stuck! I'm stuck! But not really. The amulet sparkles, he is happy, and we go back to normal time Plok. And then Plok notices that under the giant statue of his grandfather is the amulet. Wow, with this magic amulet, I can turn shells into Plok power. The fleas won't know what hit them. Now, I don't actually like doing that, because it basically converts bonus lives into bonus damage. And seeing as we are attempting to go with reliability, not speed, turning lives into damage is a poor tactical choice. This is also the introduction to those things. So these things are push buttons, you hit them, and then they unlock things. So in this case, it has unlocked this floor here. I like completing the down path first, even though I think you're meant to go across the top and then come back on the down path. It's also our introduction to the Hornets. So we get to, if we press Y, we release Hornets, and they sort of act as defensive little circling units. There are also bees, and the bees are our enemies, a la Nicolas Cage. Ah, not the bees! And yes, hating the bees is... The bees are my most feared enemy in this game, realistically. Chainsaw, cross. Kill this guy. And there's another the other side of the hill. Get our health back. These guys, you have to shoot once and then shoot them again when they're in the air. There are also parachuting versions that you have to make them drop their parachutes first, as well as versions with shields. And the versions with shields are the most annoying because you can't... They're immune to damage in the direction that they are facing. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We don't want to use 4 because if we use 4, we'll start sliding. When you use all your limbs up, you go onto your tummy and you'll slide around. Very good. Kill you. And then up to this top area. This top area has a little secret room thing. That room, which we will use to farm some health, well, some lives. And if we're good enough, we will also get to exit with a costume. Plok has a bunch of different costumes that he can put on. He's got cowboy costume, which is utterly useless. He's got flamethrower costume, which is really quite good. He's got buckshot costume, which we won't be seeing in this run because we warp past all of the buckshot costume levels. We've got to collect these shells that fall down until one of the shells instead falls down as a costume. Bullet heli. I'm not amazing at bullet hells. There we go. We get our first costume. So this is rocket costume. We shoot out rockets horizontally and vertically. And the unique thing about the costumes is... God damn it, I wanted that health. The unique thing about the costumes is they bypass the enemy's invulnerability frames. So one of the quotes of relevance is from Jake's run is, the enemies don't have so much invulnerability frames as invulnerability minutes. But these, yeah, like we just killed that flea in 3 shots straight away, whereas normally you'd have to wait like 3-ish seconds between hitting him and being allowed to hit him again. Okay, some shells. No! Okay, now it's just a case of not dying on these last jump puzzle. It's my fault for progressing so far with the rocket suit still on. Normally it would have worn out before then. I forgot that you can't do the spin jump while you have the rocket suit. Harvest some extra shells for extra lives. And the Plok continue, just because it makes me happy, not that we're using them. And done. Alright. While I'm at it, it's high time I sorted out those penkinos. So I took Jake... What was it? 44 mins to be at this stage. And he lost 2 lives to these guys. Seeing as I only have 3 lives, I can't really lose more than 3. Now, the trick to beating these reliably is you only ever want to attack one at a time. And if you can get in the bonus damage, like there, the second time, briefly whilst they're downed, they're vulnerable. But also for a little bit of time after, you can also hit them... Nah, didn't hit them there. There we go, there's one of the 4, sorry, dead. But yes, imagine if you... The more you hit them, the more stars they drop, and the more bullet heli it becomes. So you're better off killing one at a time. Can I get you again? No. The other thing you can do is charge up the sphincter shots, which I never saw Jake do. Like, if you hit this multiple times, it will remember how many times you've hit it and do a pulsation, I don't know what you want to call it, for every time that you've hit it. So you could hit it a whole bunch of times, go collect your arms and legs back, like I did there. So like, I didn't hit it as he was running into it, it was already still pulsating from my previous charging up of the button. We'll also make use of that in the next level to, well, run it a bit more quickly. Because you are going to get sick of that level. I am going to get sick of that level. Oop, we accidentally hurt a second one, which we're not supposed to do. Yes! And then there was one. I can probably hit you on your... Ugh, first descent, no such luck. Yes! That's honestly some of the most successful hitting them while they don't have their invulnerability frames that I've ever done. Now they know who's king of this island. Okay. Now this level is Farm. Jake had finished Farm at 60 minutes, and although we're sort of 20 minutes ahead of him at the moment, we might only be exiting Farm about at the same time. Why do I call it Farm rather than Venge Thicket? Because we can farm lives on this level. This level is a level where you can be net life positive, even if you take a kill, like if you take a death. And well, no continues are in the rules, but there's no rules, and they're explicitly allowed extra lives against extra lives. So farm and farm we shall. This might lead you to the question of, well, we saw that you could go 5 Ploks. What is the upper limit on how many lives you can have? Fortunately for you guys, it isn't 99. So you aren't going to have to wait around for hours while I farm up a truly absurd and impossible to lose number of lives. It maxes out at 9. You can have 9 lives, and you can kind of get away with having almost an extra life by having fully charged your Plokometer at the top there as well. So you could have 9 lives and be like 1 shell away from the next life. You respect this reading of the rules? The rules is written. The rules is written. Not a Plok continue shall be used. And we aren't on baby mode. Those were the things that are specified. And I figured OOBs must be allowed because other mod games that don't allow them, such as the recently completed Perfect Dark Run, congratulations, specifically said you aren't allowed to OOB out of bounds. Therefore, if you bothered to mention it in one of the other rules and didn't mention it here, it must be fair game. Now, the only danger here is that I have to make sure when we enter this, this fruit isn't a warp fruit, it's just a get extra, well, it is kind of a warp fruit in that if you succeed, you get a warp, but we specifically don't want to do that. Instead, we're using this to farm a whole bunch of extra purple shells. So if you successfully collect every single one of these, it warps you past the rest of this level. And we don't want that, so I'm going to avoid catching the last set in case I do this near perfectly. Yeah, there we go. I'm pretty sure I missed one of those, but just in case, we'll make sure to not collect one of these ones as well. Stay safe. Don't want to accidentally exit the farm. Instead, we are going to be repeating the farm again and again and again for sort of half a life, net half to 3/4 of a life every time. Depending on how well the bees do at killing me. What other games do I have this level of aptitude with? What other games do I have this level of aptitude with? For SNES games? I don't know any. I had a SNES. Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart. I'm okay at Super Mario Kart. Oh, come on. Although playing SNES Super Mario Kart when you're used to 64 gets real rough. The turning times are just so much slower. There we go. Head to the right, face left, jump, shoot. There's two different chests to choose from up here. I actually like... Originally I liked the Missile Man one more because you can use it to kill the bees that we're about to see. But this one is better because it lasts longer and it lets you make more progress on the level, including killing the fleas, which we haven't finished killing all the fleas yet. Much easier. Other than that, I'm a reasonable hand at EU4. That's what I usually play on the channel. Not to bring up old memories. Oh, and Might and Magic. So Might and Magic 7 is a old CRPG from about 1998. And I have sped-run that a fair bit. Let's just release the bees. There was a while when I was even a leader on 1 or 2 categories for that game, but then some new person turned up and just absolutely wrecked all of the speedrun categories and is now undisputed master of them all. Still, it's a game I love, it's a game I would revisit, probably not necessarily every year, but at least every other year I would revisit Might and Magic 7. And occasionally Railroad Tycoon 2, which I have to sadly accept it looks like Jake won't be playing. I've been checking in periodically on his, what are they? Punishment games list. Oh, there we go. Now let's pay attention to our life-o-meter. So we're at just below the hair. As long as we come up to slightly more than the hair, we're net positive. And we almost killed all the fleas. There's only one left. So it's nowhere near as difficult to get to the end as it was before. It's much quicker. Go get our wasps. Okay, we've already earned back the one that we lost by dying slightly earlier than I should have. Might and Magic run would be so fun to watch. The problem is that, like, if you're speedrunning it, it's all about, well, for 6, it's all about abusing falling through the floor. Out of bouncing through the floor, and for 7 it's all about getting a Gate Master and a Fly Master. You can get hirelings, sort of extra people to add to your base party that can cast spells that eventually your party can learn to cast. One of those is the Teleport Between Cities spells, and the other one is Fly, which lets you sort of go basically straight over all of the enemies. And yeah, speedruns are built around just quickly getting those 2 hirelings into your party and then abusing the shit out of them. Then we exit, and then we go up to the bees. So if I did play through it, I'd want to play it through in a speedy but not quite ultra super mega abuse way. Or at least I feel abusey. You know, I want to play it like I played it when I was a kid, when it was the most amazing game ever. You know, there's this whole 3D world. And you can explore, and there's monsters, and oh, it was amazing. I hate the bees. So once I'm in the rhythm, it takes about 7 minutes to do a life farm sequence here. From memory. We want to get up to 9 lives when we're at 4. So you'll notice now that our life-o-meter is basically as full as when we entered the level. Like we've earned a whole life. So everything past this point now is... bonus. It's extra. It's farming. I'm going to try and kite Mr. Flea to come towards us when we encounter him. The devs try to be nice by having the fleas, like, not want to stay on the spiky things. And I'm pretty sure that's so that they don't end up going somewhere where you literally can't collect them and just sit there annoyingly. But the end result for what happens there is they kind of just run away from you because you're surrounded by spikes there. No, I hate you, bees. Go away. Go away. Actually, I don't want more life, because that just makes it more difficult to kill myself in about 10 seconds. Collect the last of these. That would be the end of the level, but we want a life farm. So we commit suicide. And begin again. So I earned about, yeah, half a life there. And yep, this gets tedious, so feel free to, you know, go grab a meal. Whatever, come back in half an hour when the life farming is finished. Not quite quick enough. If you do it quickly enough, you can actually get on that the first time it's rising up. Not frequently. I can't say I frequently play ball games. No, I want my leg. Give me my leg. My legs are important to me. When I was sort of teenager, I played a hell of a lot of Monopoly and stuff, but not so much now. I know some people get all very, oh, Monopoly's a horrible game, but it's a fine game to play while you're watching TV shows at the same time with your friends. People get too snobby about it. It's a good background activity whilst you're doing something else. Let the RNG take you where it will. Okay, we're back to the warp zone. I have to be careful not to accidentally win the warp zone, or else I will exit the farm. Oh, well, we missed some, so I'm safe to collect all the rest. Back. Very good. And then up to the top. You made your own version of a Monopoly game. That is some dedication there. Get the Mike Tyson suit. And yes, it is a bit boring to do this farming, but Better that I do the life farming than end up in a Mike Tyson punch-out-like situation. I wouldn't want that embarrassment. They were excellent viewing, though. Okay, and then take a damage to get under here. Release all our hornets. Take a damage jumping through there, perhaps. Kill off the bees. I didn't really need to collect that life because we're about to commit suicide. Okay. We've nearly gotten up to 5 lives. If I hadn't lost those 3 lives to the Bobbins brothers, we could probably be continuing by now, but c'est la vie. The pressure of being on for reals rather than practicing, getting to us a little bit. Okay, 5. You can probably get up to just shy of the top of the head this time. I do want my arm back. Whoa! Left, right, left, right, left to right, and back, and back. Don't accidentally want to collect them all, and exit the farm before I'm fully life farmed up. Oi, give me my legs back. And cross. No! Ugh. Start again. Press it in the special place 4 times. Cause the great big long thing to go in and out 4 times. Next one. Next one. Get our Mike Tyson suit. Bypass the bees. Might even hit 6. Although we'll go back down to 5 when we commit Sudoku. Yep, 6. You stand on the little blocks to make them make their little pleasure faces. And then when they finish making their little pleasure faces, they're done. Whew. 5 1/3 lives. Any favourite EU4 countries or starts? I tend to like playing the little people that are surrounded by the big boys and having to survive, so things like Trabzond. That are... No one nation is especially... especially beloved. I do have one especially proud playthrough though. A one-tag world conquest in which, without using custom nations or any other exploity type things, it was a Norse one-tag. You have to turn on the random new world, and there is a teeny tiny chance of a fantasy nation occurring that is called Vinland, and they still follow the Norse ways. And using that, you can get Norse into the game without exploits, in a way that you can collect achievements and be an Iron Man, etc. So you can have, yeah, an Iron Man, an achievement compatible Norse one tag. It's my favorite playthrough. It's called Aragonorse on my YouTube channel. Hashtag self-promote. Hashtag no shame. Nah, just go get the others. Whew. Okay. Mike Tyson uniform. Go away, bee. I hate the bees. Okay, release our wasps. And honorable seppuku. Five and 3/4 lives. So we should get up to like 6 1/3 this time. Thank you. No! All right. One, two, three. And yeah, a lot of these warps, there's absolutely no way of getting them, like succeeding at them, if you just don't know them a priori, if you don't know them beforehand. Which is one of the ways that this game is a little cheap. Okay, I think I've actually succeeded at collecting them all so far, so I'm going to have to make sure not to collect at least one of those. Ah. Seven, but we go down to 6 when we commit suicide. And I'm not going to do my usual sequence here, I'll just clear this out. Do it a slightly different way. Slower but more reliable, and doesn't require me to suffer that extra bit of damage. Which might otherwise have that be kill me. Wouldn't want to die before I finish farming. Ooh, no thank you. Don't want to end the level. Now we want to end. Okay, 6 1/3 lives. This time we might get to about just shy of 7. There are a couple of other levels you can farm lives on. The level that we're coming up to in about 4 more, you can technically farm lives on, but it's a lot longer level. I think it's much quicker to farm lives here. You can also technically farm lives on the first of those jungle levels, the one where it introduced these push buttons. But again, I think that's riskier. I think it's about the same amount of time, but I think it's riskier. I'm more likely to die on the jump puzzles in that level than these jump puzzles. These jump puzzles just require you to go back to the start. The ones in that other level will kill you, and that can turn your farming from a life-positive activity into a life-negative activity. All it takes is accidentally dying once to need to spend like another 10 minutes farming lives if you want to get up to max lives. Left. Right. Left. Right. I'm pretty sure I've got all of them so far. So we make sure not to collect 2, because it's pretty hard to just miss one of those. If we accidentally collect them all, we'll move on from the farm. So I think 2 more loops of this and we might well be done. About 2 more. Oh, thank you kindly for the follow. I would be paying more attention, but I want to get this done reasonably quickly. Do it the quick way, because we've got enough life to justify it. And then that doesn't quite become 8, but it becomes really close to 8 lives. This time it will probably become 8. Will he keep this challenge on the list without the life farming? Well, maybe he adds some extra rules, or punishes people a little bit more for attempting. To be clear, I can complete... Oh, I've got a record there that's like 130. But it's riskier, and I would rather take no risks. Like, I could well end this run with 6 lives spare, and all this farming will have been a bit of a waste of time, but at least I will feel safe, and not as nervous as we proceed through. Playing without risks. Well, how much more Plok does he want to see? I was saving this line for the end, but one of the lines from Jake's playthrough is, "I've never completed this in my life. Maybe someday it will appear in the 2 hours of hell. And I, for one, would wish to join the Plok 2 hours of hell lobby." I can personally attest to the game being possible to complete in under 2 hours. You just gotta get good, son. And like, realistically, I'm only just now coming up to the same time when Jake finished farm. He finished farm at 60 minutes, and we're at 60 minutes and 50-something seconds. So all of this farming only has brought us to in line with Jake's time for where he was at when running the game. You know what? I'm happy enough with this. This is enough lives. We will continue this time. And if I die by 1 life, then my hubris will come back to bite me in the backside. Okay. The 6 Shock Wonder. Sounds like a Pikachu. Okay. Now, what's going to happen? There is some water underneath us. We need to hit the water, move up and to the right, and punch one of the warp cherries. This will take us to what Jake described in his own run-through as a ludicrously hard warp section. 1, 2, 3. The pattern is down, up, down, down, up, down. Down. Up. Down. Here we want to kill the first one, use the second one to indicate when we should stop. You can still be okay as long as you get it on the second time around the roundabout. Preferably you get it on the first time. Down. This time you have to clear away these things. Up. Down. Clear away the things. Ah, slightly not quick enough. There's a little bit of luck to getting through the clearing of the second set of them, because sometimes you bounce back when you hit them, and it costs you time. And I've determined no way of completely preventing that. It just seems to be a little bit down to luck, how much momentum you have exactly as you hit them. Up. And down again. Kill the first one. should be alright. Down. Yeah, like those 2 bounces, if you hit them once, you're pretty much okay, but if you hit them twice, you run the risk of not succeeding. Yes! Ludicrously hard. Second try, the patented 2-shot method. This is another example of where the text in the game just rings slightly off to me. I'll pay a visit to that trouble causer, Womack Spider. Not troublemaker, trouble causer. This is a bullet hell. So Mr. Spider, it becomes a bullet hell eventually. He drops down, you gotta hit him. He then bounces around the screen violently. I hide in the top right corner. We do that again. He becomes damageable, and now he starts going into bullet hell mode. He periodically shoots those things. If you're up in the air, when it's sort of the time for him to shoot, then he will aim up in the air, and you can make your life dodging a whole lot easier. Every time you hit him again, he loses another one of his legs. And when he's out of legs and then you hit his body, I missed hitting him once there, he dies properly. Also, every time you hit him, he starts shooting an additional projectile in his little bullet hell. Shit. No! Well, activate, get good. Three-quarters of the way there. There are some other little tricks you can do. You can technically damage boost to get in an extra hit when he first becomes vulnerable here, but I don't think that that's worth taking the damage for myself. Seeing as I can't complete it with 100% success rate, I'm better off conserving my life. Conservative approach. There we go. Oh. Yes. Good. 3 legs left. 2 legs left. 1 leg left. Zero legs left, so he's on his last hit point. And this time you can take advantage of the fact that when you hit him, his projectiles all despawn. So you can, if you're down to like you have 1 health versus him having 1 health, you just sort of jump at him, attempt to hit him, and as long as you connect before he connects with you, you're safe. I don't think I'll have any more trouble from him. Okay, at this stage, Jake was at 1 hour 26 minutes beating the spider. So I've already caught up all my time and sort of 20 minutes extra. This next level, Jake died once to the fleas. Hopefully we can do a bit better. Honestly, the real risk in this level is the bees. So there are a bunch of barriers to progressing. So it's a vertical climb level. We've got to climb to the very top of the level. And there are a bunch of barriers that some bees have set up where you have to punch to activate a blow-up button that blows up a sort of barrier preventing further moving up. And the bees will, if they can, yeah, like that, hurt you while you're trying to do it. I hate them so much. This is our first real encounter with Mr. Water Sprinkler. You hit him, he knocks over, and he turns into a jetpack. The pattern for this level is whenever you encounter a jetpack, whichever side it was on, so that one was on the right-hand side of the map, you want to go to the other side of the map first. So that one we picked up from the right, so we catch it and go across to the left. there will be an area with either fleas or a costume unlock. Very good. That's used up all our arms though. We go over here, kill you. Now that we've done the left, we can do the side that the sprinkler slash lift starts on. We can do the right. Come on. Very good. There's some more fleas. I will activate my bees or my walnuts. Very good. Is there a second one? No, we get our arms and leg, well, a arm and our leg back. Continue the climb. Same thing again, so jump up past the bees. I hate the bees. Go kill off the bees, otherwise they'll be an annoyance while we're on the lift. Damn it, didn't quite manage to get the honey. So this one was on the left, so we go do the right-hand side first. Go pleasure the button. Ow. Now I think this was the one that has the could you not? Could you not? Thank you. Has the flamethrower. Yep. So honestly, you're better off just running straight past the fleas, getting the flamethrower, and then killing them when they don't get invulnerability frames. As I said before, using the suits like this means that you can bypass invulnerability frames. And this will wear out. Now we've done the right, so we can do the left. Damn you. Get the next costume. This costume is, I'm assuming, like, I assume originally this gun shot, and that it's somehow to meet ESRB, etc. ratings that they made it not shoot because having a gun that works was not acceptable. So instead it just deploys a little flag that says bang, and it says bang the wrong way round if you face the other direction. No! We have to go kill the bees. Come on, let me up. God, I hate them so much. Yeah. We hate the bees, and this is why I said that this level, although it's technically possible to life farm here, in practice, the bees are just too much of a hassle. We have, however, killed 3/4 of the... please let me... Thank you. 3/4 of the fleas. So we should have an easier time of the rest of this. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Go away, bee. You didn't even let me get the life. Boo hiss! The tune's banging and the gun banging. Boink. We've already killed the fleas on that other side, so... we can come across here. Oh, maybe we do have to go to the other side. I need my arms back if I'm going to break the next section's B barrier. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Duck under. Kill the next bees. God, I hate them. Still didn't manage to get the honey. No, that needs a fist, so we're going to have to go to the other side. Should have the flamethrower costume. Yes. We get all our arms and legs back. Whoops. Come back. Yeah, I shouldn't have jumped. It's my fault. I know. Yep. You gotta be careful not to tap down ever while you're jumping, because it will cancel your jump, like it did there for me. Yes! We got the life. Okay, so we started on the right, so we want to go to the left first. Release the hornets. Ow. More hornets. Thank you. Coat hanger. Get our arms back, or at least an arm, so that we can unlock the next area's B barrier. Jump over. You can get yourself sort of soft locked in that corner there if you jump when you're in that corner to the right. So be careful not to. Oi, face the right way. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Okay, we've unlocked killing all the fleas. We don't, however, have any arms. And there is one more B barrier, so we have to go back and find another set of arms. Please be over here. Thank you. Go get the sprinkler lift again, go up, and then we are essentially done. We will also go to the left instead of the right after the next up section because it just lets us farm some more shells. This is one of the hardest jumps in the game. I know that made it look easy, but it really is one of the hardest jumps. You have to be sort of going at the right angle at the right time to not get stuck on the curve. Good, we killed the bees. I don't have to worry about the bees. Jump across here. If you stand all the way over here, it can't hurt you. Our own hornets killed it. We get our arms and legs back and jump to the left. Temporary invulnerability, which lets us stand on there so that we can punch the thing. Get a Plok continue, not that we're using them. They're against the rules. Do a bit of life farming. And proceed to the exit. Very good. Next. Ha ha ha, I showed them. I was Plok-tastic back there. Okay, so Jake reached this point at 1 hour 55 minutes, and this was the level that eventually saw Jake nope out of finishing Plok. What you've got to do is kill those guys to get temporary invulnerabilities to get over into this section. This section then deprives you of your legs, which makes you bounce around, and then it tries to trick you into bouncing into these spikes. You hold down so that you don't bounce into the spikes. You also accumulate momentum while you're sliding like that. And there's these little hills that have a pair of enemies. Ooh, it nearly tricked me into jumping. To start with, they had just 2 of them, and then eventually they upgrade to 2 with a shield. And you've got to do the hit them in the air thing, which I'm not managing to make a good go of, so we're going to back off. Let them come down here. They can't really exit the purple thing. Like, they hit an invisible barrier and then bounce back. You can let them cycle back. God damn it. There we go. And then it's the flea area. We will not be harming the fleas now. We will only attack the fleas once we get our legs back, after going past the fish area. No bouncing, thank you. Don't want to bounce into the spikes. If you're also really good at momentum manipulating, you can use it to jump over those. But I'm not good enough to do that, so I don't risk it. I instead kill them / make them fly up when I hit them and go under. There's one of them gone. Yeah, you can see how he's invulnerable when you don't shoot him from the correct side. No, better off letting him finish a cycle. The soundtrack for this game is amazing. Jake points it out about a dozen times in his own playthrough. Any game that's got the Fallon brothers or one of the Fallon brothers making the music, you can basically rest assured that playing the game, even just for the music, is worth. No matter how garbage the rest of the game is, and in fact makes the point that he has the somewhat unfortunate habit of actually making amazing music for bad games. Like, games that end up being bad in spite of his music. Ugh. I might just go under that guy. Or not. Wait for another cycle. Got ya! We get a temporary invulnerability. Not that that really helps here. Jump. Shoot, kill the fish. Go across. Kill the next fish. I'm gonna have to kill that fish twice because we weren't on point with our ducking. Go across. Kill the next fish. Duck. Go across. Get our life-o-meter filled up. But I'm not actually going to collect that yet because I'm not in danger of dying to this fish. So until I clear here, I won't collect it. 1, 2, yes. Kill fish. Go back over. 1, 2, 3. Kill fish. Go over. 1, 2, 3. Kill fish. Go over. We don't want to collect that buzzsaw. That buzzsaw gets you back to the central area quickly, but it would mean I can't collect these couple of little extra shells, and we are in life farm mode still. Rather than speedy speedrun mode. Okay, now we kill the fleas. Yeah, the fleas cheat a little bit. They shouldn't be able to come over here, but anyway. Good. And then the second sort of trapped area of fleas. Very nice. Okay, then we have the little toadstool hops across to what is, I think, probably the second most difficult thing in the game. The, much like the little bit at the very start of this level where we had to kill the guy that was parachuting to, get an invulnerability to progress without taking damage, there's a series of those to do. So I do not at all throw any shade at Jake for giving up at what was, I think, the second most difficult thing to do in this game. there are a couple of little tricks that you can use to make it a bit easier. I'll be explaining them when we get there. For the moment, we'll just continue life farming. I do quite want to be on full lives. Makes me feel safe. Okay. You do not stand in the middle, you stand off to the side, because some of the future ones will, like that, spit out people, and if you're standing in the middle it will hurt you. So you stand to the side. Using his invulnerability frames. Okay, now this one, you want to start standing on that little cannon platform thing that they shoot out of on the left. Once you've knocked the guy out of the sky, move over to the right, and if you don't get it straight away, just run back over here to reset the sequence. Otherwise, you have to do amazing dodging against the boomerang guy, and it will just cost you getting hit. Nah. So what I want to do is run away and reset the sequence and have another go. It is just not worth staying there. So we come back, everything's reset. Make sure we're standing on the edge. Knock him out of the sky. Got it. I did take a damage though. Ideally, you do not even take that one damage. If you execute that, move to the left, move to the... Boo, hiss. Right, correctly. Oof. Okay, there's a shield guy, and there's one more flea, and then we're done. And we're just going to ignore you. Okay. Wisdom beyond my years. Okay, and then this takes us to the most difficult skip. So the previous one with the, don't eat the fruit, don't eat the fruit. And I'm actually going to stop and talk for a sec, because if I enter the thing, I'm on a timer. So we had the Unicycle Warp. This warp is Motorbike Warp. What you need to do is there's a series of little hills. You've got to make a jump across the water. There's a series of little hills, and then there's a vertical barrier. You have to attack that vertical barrier to make a hole in it and progress. Why not Plok on any of the other brilliant games? I wanted my mod sword. And the trick to that is you want to shoot as you're cresting the top of the first hill and as you're going down sort of 2/3 the way of the second hill and just before you hit the barrier. I'm not going to be interacting with chat terribly much during this because this is the hardest thing I think in the game. Jump. Crest. Downwards. Perfect. Crest. Downward. Ah, bad. Kind of makes that perfect that we did earlier cancel out. Crest. Nah, too late. We are about on time to maybe make it. I think we can make that if we're like... Yes! With 0 seconds and 0 split seconds to spare. Okay, that skips us to the third of this final world levels. Each of these final world levels is a... I didn't try any of the other mod games. I didn't want to really do, like, Typing of the Dead. I'm not very good at rhythm games, so I didn't look at, like, there's a rhythm game on there that, from memory, at one stage when I was looking on it, although it might have been demolished now. This seemed the most reasonable. I maybe could have done Perfect Dark, but I think that would have taken me more training. More practice. This is Jetpack. So Jetpack, you fall down. It is also a bit ice physicsy in that you slide a lot and it has a laser. We don't care about the laser because we're going to be out of bouncing our way past all the enemies. We won't, however, be above collecting the shells, as I would rather be safe than sorry. Now, you've got to sort of hover at the right level. We need our sort of... We need to be in the sludge up to about where it completely covers our laser thing. And then that will let us out of bounds past here, if we do it right. And if we don't do it right, we go too low and we suffer some damage. No, not going quickly enough. I would have guessed we're at the right vertical level, but just not moving quickly enough there. Come on. There we go. We out of bounds past part of the level. We do it again, making me look unusually competent. And success. That was fun. Can I have another go? Collect our score, because score matters. And now we move on to Motorbike Level here. Motorbike Level is the most obnoxious of these specific worlds as far as I'm concerned. It was the one I had the most difficulty getting unshit at. Don't know that I'd call myself good, but we'll call ourselves unshit. I think that's reasonable enough. Okay, and jump. Collect these, because I'm still not at maximum lives, although we're nearly at maximum lives. And we get given the motorbike. We also get introduced to a new enemy type in this level, the bats. They look like sort of big orange aubergines. They fly, they have wings. On the bottom of screen, when I go past where this barrier is, there'll be a broken eggshell at the bottom, and a bat will spawn out of it. Yep. They are truly annoying. I probably jumped a little too early. Here, the trick is to basically jump around and kite. Oh, shouldn't have taken that damage. There's two of these. Sometimes they will also cheat a little bit. Or at least it seems like cheating until you work out what's happening. The enemies can move around and jump around while they're off screen. And sometimes what this one will do is he'll jump on top of that pile of eggshell barrier there, and then do his little spurt of projectiles like that. And because you're used to him being at ground level, you're like, how the heck is he shooting the projectiles so far? It's because he's stuck on top of the eggshell barrier. Now, this is a series of small precision jumps. Small precision jump series 1. 1. 2. And that makes it look unusually easy, but each of those are actually inclined hills, so you have to be sort of fighting the incline with your D-pad direction, or else you will slide down into the spikes. You're not meant to come under that. Please go back to where you can't hurt me. Well, that sucks. That might be a need to use a life on this level. Jump. 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 Big jump. And then there's two more frogs, one octopus, and I think this is our possibly first octopus. At least I think of them as octopus/squid things. They are stationary turrets, and they shoot in vertical straight lines. Okay, there's one of the frogs done. Or flea upgrades. I think of them as frogs, but they're really, upgraded aged fleas. We killed the octopus thing, so now it's just flea 2. And then there are no more enemies, it's just precision jumping. Okay. Clear the... Now, this is quick. Small precision jump, small precision jump. So, quick, small precision jump, small... No! And that's the last thing, and then it's the end of the level. Well, we do it again. This is part of why we farmed our lives. All because the frog came down the hill instead of staying up the hill like he's supposed to. Blow up the barrier without being too close to the barrier. If you're too close to this first barrier, the fruit bat thing will start spawning. Well, the egg bat. So you kill it from as great a distance as possible. Jump to avoid him hurting us. Big jump. Big jump. Kill these again. Using our jump strategy. Fighting was pretty good there. Less good there. But I think we got him. Yep, we got him. Perfect. So, small precision jump section 1. 1, 2. Yes. Do I want the life now? You know what? I think I'll save that life for later and assume that we are going to get hurt and fall down. Come on, jump into range. Thank you. And again. Perfect. Now I'll grab that life. Okay, crest the hill. Gonna go. Yes. Big jump. Big jump. 2 frogs, 1 octopus, and then the precision jumping. Okay. Precision jumping. Quick, quick, quick. Short hop, short hop. Quick, quick, quick. Short hop, short hop. There we go. In the patented 2-shot technique. Yeah, it is very horror platformy. Like, this is all like Cthulhuian, otherworldly, almost body horror merged sort of stuff. Like, it's all natural growth structures. Okay, this is helicopter level. This is our last helicopter level. It's full of lots and lots and lots of octopi. And a couple of eggshell barriers. We're actually very lucky that he comes this way. If he goes the other way, he becomes a huge pain in the backside to kill. You kind of want to kite them this direction. You can somewhat control it by... They tend to bounce off the edge of the screen to an extent. So if you keep them at the right distance from the edge of the screen, then you can kind of get them to come where you want, which is over here. And you want them over here because when they do their shoots, they hit the ceiling and they can't hurt you. Whereas down there, they are able to hurt you. Yeah, so now we're about right. No, come back. Yes, this way. Now we're in the worst of all worlds, where he's super angry but not up here. Got ya! Okay, we turn into the helicopter, and we go past the sort of octopus maze. There are also fruit bats in here as well. Well, the fruit bats, the egg bats. So for these, we start seeing the octopus normally. You have to hit them 3 times. Remembering that this has ice physics, so you bounce off the walls pretty vigorously. You'd also be surprised at how big your hitbox is. Like, even though we take up maybe a third of the screen, our hitbox is even more worryingly large than that. Okay, now this we just ignore the enemies and go past. We do not ignore you. That was the fruit bat noise. No. We can just go past you. Dodge under and up. Kill the... No! Hate the bats. Shot 1 of 3. Down. Prevent the bat from killing us. 2. Prevent the bat from killing us. Boy, I heard you spawn again. 3. Okay. Now there's a health past this little don't touch the spike section. 1. 2. Ow. Suffered damage once. But we're still net health positive because we got the health. Now here you want to be holding diagonal down left so that you can slide under these. Otherwise you have to break them. Now we don't want to be going max speed because we'll ram into one of the octopus's things. Yeah, the hitbox is like 10 pixels. It's huge! 10 pixels is huge! The worst for the hitboxing is the tank. And I think next level is the tank. So I'll bitch about that then. Well, moan about that then. Forgive the language. Very good. Now it's the same thing again, except that this time they're also hiding. There's 2 of them, and they're hiding behind an eggshell barrier. Prevents you from hitting them. Okay. And then there's one more like that, except that they're facing the other way, and then we go to the water, and we get to out of bounds our way to the end of the level. Okay, we want about where our sort of console, our front console is beneath the ooze. Okay, and then we want to out of bounds our way around here. Nearly took damage by ramming myself into the sludge. God damn it. I didn't press up control pad. Left. Right. Very good. Now, I forget whether there's a third one here. Like a third out of bounds. We'll go look. Yes, there are enemies there, so we do a third out of bounds, and then we're at the end of the level. Not going quickly enough. There we go. And end of the level. Alright. I make that look very easy. Oh, I've died a lot there. Like, I've done a fair bit of practice to be able to be this not incompetent. And I feel very happy with where our lives are at. Okay, so tank level. Somebody's gonna pay dearly for giving me all of this trouble. This is the first level where they're obnoxious enough to start a flea in with your starting area. Good. You have to activate both roundabout-a-majig things here this time. So you do one. That lets you get up to this one, which you hit once. Collect all the shells and move on. And we have tank level. Now, you might think, tank. Surely that means you can't be hurt. Having armor is the one, like, defining attribute of a tank. And no. In fact, if anything, it's easier for you to get hurt because it's harder for you to move around effectively. You are much slower. And your hitbox, your vertical hitbox, is larger than you would suspect. Things will shoot over the top of your head but hit you. What you can do is jump and shoot. Honestly, you'd probably prefer just to be normal Plok. So this is left and right sections across here where you have to just kill the octopi / 1 or 2 fleas. And then there are vertical drop sections. The vertical drop sections are all about having... Oh, I'm surprised that hit me. Are all about having the timing on how to dodge the octopus shots, because there'll be a pair of octopuses shooting you, whilst breaking the floor underneath you so that you can get access to further downwards. It's a vertical climb, but it's a vertical climb downwards. So here's the first one of these barriers. You break it. There's two of these things. They will be shooting at us, and I have to time my moving so that they never manage to hit me. Break the floor. Dodge all their shots. I think I'm going to get hit there. One hit is okay. Level up the health fruit. Now there's a frog here. We will not collect the health until we've killed the frog, because the frog might well manage to hurt me some more, and indeed he does. Now we can collect the health. Then we have essentially the same thing, so we move past a couple of frogs and octopi, and then we have another vertical drop, except the next vertical drop tries to trick you into... Basically, instead of being semi-broken eggshell floors, there is a section that has full health eggshell floors and a section that has mostly broken eggshell floors, and it tries to trick you into like, oh, you should take advantage of the fact that some of these eggshell floors are already semi-broken. But if you break that floor, that section of floor leads you to fall down into water and die. So you have to resist the temptation to do that, and there's no way of knowing that unless you've just fallen for their trap before, which is one of the ways that this game is a bit cheap. A lot of the, how about no? Let's move far to the left. If you move far enough off screen, they, de-AI their shooting. Like, it turns off their AI until you enter shoot range again. So we can try and get into a position where he's not just awful to kill. Yeah, there's no way of knowing that unless you've fallen for it before. You can also kill some of those guys by shooting down the hole, but because you can't see them, it's hard to know what angle to hit. Fall down. Yeah, so see the shells on the right that are already broken, that don't go over the ground. If you do those ones, then you will fall into that water and die. A horrible, horrible death. This is an elevator section. There are a bunch of these spinning around elevators. The first one has nothing, then the next one has semi-broken eggshell, and the next one has slightly more healed eggshell, and the last one has fully healed. This is also a good time to mention the recoil. So when I shoot, it does actually have recoil on the tank. So what I want to do is position myself so that I have 3 wheels, the back 3 wheels on the platform, before I shoot, so that when I shoot at about, when the platform is at about 12 o'clock, if you think of the platform's arm as a hand on a clock, at around 12 and 2 o'clock, I want to shoot so that the recoil doesn't knock me into the water. Wait for this to come over. Same deal, but this time they're not, well, there's more of them and they're slightly more fully healed. Move ourselves so our rear 3 wheels are in position and shoot. Rear 3 wheels are in position, shoot. Rear 3 wheels are in position and shoot. At least there's not really any risk, aside from accidentally holding a direction pad button and jumping into the water, or shooting when you aren't in a position to take the recoil. There's not really any danger from this. It's just time consuming. Okay, and we can go over. And then this is the last one. And then there's just 2 old fleas, and we're finished. The approach for the old fleas, I take, is a friendly approach. We ignore them and we live in mutual prosperity and happy coexistence. Now, you might think that you only need to kill 3. In the previous 2 jumps, I've only really needed to kill 3 eggshells, but if you look at the top middle of the foreground roof here, it kind of looks like background in that it's a darker color, but it isn't. It is not background, that is foreground roof, so if you try to jump across this barrier without destroying 4 of these eggshells, you will hit the roof and get knocked down into the water to die a horrible, horrible death. So I take the ultra-conservative approach of making sure to kill extra eggshells, because otherwise when you jump you will hit that, yeah, the dark section of the ceiling directly above us. It isn't background. Shoot. Okay, now we're safe. See? Like you saw how extra soon I hit the... Yeah. And it's just... Yeah. Okay, we live happily coexistence. Just try and keep a nice safe distance from you. And the end. Eat lead, flea scum. And now we move on to the penultimate level, which is Spaceship Level. And all my extra life hoarding is looking like it's going to be completely unnecessary, but again, I'd rather spend half an hour farming and be safe than end up in a Tyson Punch-Out situation. So Spaceship handles very much like the helicopter, in that it is able to fly left, right, up, down. It doesn't have quite the same level of ice physics, and it will stop. It also has a much better shot than the helicopter. The helicopter had those bombs that sort of have a gravity-affected arc down and to the side. Whereas the UFO, the spaceship, has a... No! The UFO has... It just shoots a laser beam sort of thing that goes infinitely far horizontally without any drop. Okay. Now this section is all about clearing eggshell barriers and dodging octopuses. Okay, we killed you. So we clear the eggshell barrier, we clear the other eggshell barrier, and that then means I almost took damage there that I really shouldn't have taken. But we can then kill you and your little friend who's slightly off screen. No, he's dead. Kill the next flea. Very good. Eggshell barrier. Eggshell. I wanted the second lower section of that eggshell barrier. Thank you. And then octopus 1. And octopus 2. Flea again. And then there's a section where we just ignore all the enemies. No, okay, I'm slightly ahead of myself. There's one more of these. Then we ignore the enemies. Oof. Go away. Okay. And then this is showing you what the next section is. It's going to be break eggshell barrier and go around spikes. This is where we just ignore everyone. Break eggshells, go past spikes. Okay, now this section is you've got to go left and right of these spikes, break the eggshell barriers, and then go around to the other side to clear the next set of eggshell barriers that are on the other direction. All whilst getting shot at by the octopus things. Now this is trying to trick you into thinking that when you get onto the level to kill the octopus, that it is safe from below. But as we will see in a little bit, it actually isn't safe from below. Again, the roof is getting in our way. That should do. Get across. Yeah, look. There are shots coming from below, and if you aren't expecting those shots, they will happily kill you. Okay, and now we out of bounds our way to the finish. Otherwise, it's a big spiral-shaped thing that you have to work your way to the center. But we will just out of bounds. No, not quite low enough. Move a little bit lower. Okay, a little bit lower still. I would have thought this is low enough, but apparently not. There we go. And finish. Okay, and now for the absolute final boss, the Flea Queen. Now, this is a bullet hell. She shoots a series of bullet hell things at you, and you have to dodge them, and then she spawns babies. She spawns the baby fleas, not the upgraded fleas. Once you kill those babies, she'll fall down from the roof, and you can temporarily hurt her once. The problem is that it isn't just a bullet hell. It's a bullet hell where you can only control your left and right movement. You are forced to move up and down continually because you're put on sort of pogo stick things. And you cannot stop yourself from jumping. So, boing, 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 boing. I have no control over that. Like, I'm not doing anything. Oh, my green screen is making the controller see-through. But anyway, I'm not pressing anything there, you can see, and the jumping still happens. I can control left-right, but I cannot control my jump height or the fact that I am jumping. So you've got a bullet hell around her bullets. Wait for her to spawn her babies. Kill her babies. She falls down. You don't want to be near the edge of the map because she shoots that spray that hits the edge of the map. Bullet hell around her bullets. I'm probably going to go over that one. She spawns new babies. Kill. She falls down. Hurt her. That's actually about the best shoot location that she can do because it's really easy to dodge that location when she does them purely horizontally. Oh god. Good. Kill the babies. She falls down. Shoot her in the face. Go under that one. Under that one. Maybe over. No. Over that one though. Under that one. Every time she starts spawning an increased number of babies, she does one baby, then two babies, then three babies, and then four babies. Go over that one, under that one. She spawns babies. You can use your silly spray to also bump the eggs, so that they don't... Because the eggs have a sort of nasty habit of if you hit the eggs and whilst you're moving, then the eggs will move to the location that you're moving as well. And they end up hurting you when they spawn out of the eggs. So you're better off silly puttying or silly stringing them to move away from you. Okay. I'm looking surprisingly confident and competent. I haven't taken a damage yet. Under that one, under that one, over that one. Damn it! Under that one. Jinxed. 2 bits of damage. But now she dies, and GG. Well played. Finish. Hand me my sword! And with 8 lives to spare, so my life farming did prove sort of unnecessary, but, you know, if it makes you feel confident so that you don't get nervous, worth. In fact, I think we exited the life farm with 8 levels, and I still have 8 lives now, so... DDRJake has added me as a mod on the channel. Woo! Alright, cool. Is the next person available? Or else not, I might have a go at playing some more Sparkster. Other than that, we get the credit scene. He sits in his little chair and he falls asleep and all the credits roll by.